Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Economics. Of course, and in this episode, we're going to continue our study on the theory of demand. More specifically, we're going to look at the law of demand, all right, and then we distinguish between normal and abnormal demand curve and the reasons why abnormal demand curve occur or exist. All right, so do not forget that this tutorial is brought to you by the O3 Schools JAMB CBT Practice app. Okay, if you follow our tutorials and you have our application on your phone, your success is sure. All right, let us see a past question from the O3 School JAMB app from JAMB. This is a 2022 question number 7. It says here that an exceptional demand curve can result from A, says increase in price of raw materials. B says increase in the size of the population. C says expectation of future price increase. D says change in taste of consumer. All right, so come back to this question to answer it and many more at the end of this class. Please do not go anywhere. Do not forget to also like this video. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to share so that others can also learn. All right, please ensure you get the application. The app has everything you need to succeed for your exam, and the activation fee for the app is not up to the price of rice and chicken in a good restaurant. So please pay the price, activate. You get to see all the past questions. You see lecture notes, classroom. There's a classroom on the application where you can study. You see, I try to give you some notes here. All right, you have all of these notes on the application, and more. You have the question search feature. You have the UTME mock challenge where you participate with every student that is writing JAMB for this year. Compete with them to win prizes, get used to JAMB past and likely exam questions. Familiarize yourself with how JAMB sets questions. So please get the application and start studying immediately. You do not have any time. If anybody is telling you that you have time, that is what you do not have the luxury of. Please start immediately. Start now. Do not postpone your preparation. Let us see the law of demand. What is the law of demand? Or what does the law of demand say? So the law of demand states that the higher the price of a commodity, the higher the price, that is higher, the higher the price of a commodity, the lower the quantity demanded. Okay, so it means that once the price of a commodity is high, okay, people will tend to demand demand that commodity in lesser quantities. But once the price is low, people will tend to demand it more. Okay, so in general, the law of demand says that the higher the price of a commodity, the lower the quantity demanded. If you are taking notes, please take notes down. Okay, the higher the price of a commodity, the lower the quantity demanded. And the lower the price of a commodity, the higher the quantity demanded, and vice versa. Okay, ceteris paribus. Okay, meaning that other things being equal, the higher the price of a commodity, the lower the quantity demanded. And the lower the price of a commodity, the higher the quantity demanded. People tend to buy more when the price is low, okay? And then they buy less when the price is high. That's what that's what the law of demand is talking about. Like me now, I like smoked fish very well. Before now, there's hardly anything I want to eat that I do not want to scatter one smoked fish, all right? But when things started increasing in price, when inflation started setting in, all right, now that I cannot buy small fish again. One small fish that I used to buy for let's say 600, 500 naira before, now and I get it for 2,000, 2,500 naira. So now that the price is now too high, I cannot now afford it again. All right. So even if I was buying 4 once, I'll put in my refrigerator and be using them small. Now I will buy one. So the higher the price, okay, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. That is the law of demand. Please take note of that. So you must have taken that note. The law of demand states that the higher the price of a commodity, the lower the quantity demanded. And the lower the price of a commodity, the higher the quantity demanded. So we're going to look at, we talked about demand curve in the last episode, okay? Talk about what the demand curve. Today we're going to look at two types of demand curve that we have. We have the normal demand curve and the abnormal demand curve, okay? We're going to talk about the normal demand curve and the abnormal demand curve. Now, it's on the board here. A normal demand curve. Let's look at the normal demand curve first. So you say that a normal demand curve is a demand curve that slopes downward from left to right, just like we saw in the examples we gave in the last episode. Okay, the graphs that we drew, the curves that we drew, okay, the demand curves we drew in the last episode, you can see this, you can see the graphs was sloping like this. Okay, it comes down like this. All right, so it slopes down. This is what your left, this is your right. So it slopes from what? From left to right. That is a normal demand curve. A normal demand curve is a demand curve that slopes downwards from left to right. And this normal demand curve is one that obeys the law of demand. It obeys the law of demand. It simply shows you that when price is high, quantity demanded is low. And when price is low, quantity demanded is what? Is high. Okay? So that is what the normal demand curve shows you. And goods that have such kind of demand curve, the goods that have the kind of normal demand curve, they are what we call normal goods. All right? Please take note of that. Normal goods are goods that have what? A normal demand curve. Okay? And we say that this shows that as the price of a commodity increases, as it is going up, right? Quantity demanded of such goods decreases, and vice versa. And we call those goods that have a normal demand curve, we call them what? Normal goods. Okay. Now, what are some of the characteristics of what? Of a normal demand curve? Okay. I told you earlier in the previous episode that the relationship between the price of a commodity and the quantity demanded, we say that it is negative. It is what? It is inverse. All right, because there's an indirect relationship between the price of a commodity and the quantity demanded. All right, so that is what this is. This is what it shows the price of a commodity. It shows that as the price is increasing, the opposite. As the price is increasing, the opposite, that is the quantity demanded is what? Is decreasing. The opposite happens when the price is increasing. You can see that they are opposite. All right, they are. We say there's an indirect relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. Okay, so some of the characteristics that we have of a normal demand curve is that one, it has a negative slope. All right, it has a negative slope. You must take note of all these points. They are very, very important. Okay, so a normal demand curve has a positive slope. This is how a normal demand curve looks like. Okay, where this is price. Okay, where this one is is quantity demanded. You can see that the graph goes like this. It slopes downward. It slopes downward. Okay, so now, some of the characteristics, number one, we say that it has a negative slope. Okay, as you can see, it is coming down. It has a negative slope. All right, I mean that the y over the s there is negative. It has a negative slope. Then number two, okay, it has there's an indirect relationship. Okay, there's an indirect relationship between price and quantity demanded. Okay, indirect relationship between the price and quantity demanded. Please take note of that. Then number three, of course, it has we say it has a negative. It has a negative function. All right. So these are the characteristics of of a normal demand curve. It has a negative slope. There's an indirect relationship between the price and the quantity demanded, and it has a negative function. All right. So please take note of that. Those are the characteristics of a normal demand curve. I'm sure by now there's nothing anyone will ask you about normal demand curve that you will not know. All right, so now let us continue. Let us see the abnormal demand curve. Now, say that the abnormal demand curve is a curve that what? That slopes upward from left to right. This one slopes what? Downward. The normal one slopes what? Downward from left. This is your left. This is what? Your right. Okay? So it slopes downwards from left to right for a normal demand curve. But the abnormal one slopes upwards. I'm taking this off. If you have not written it, simply take the video back a little bit and get it. All right. So for the what abnormal demand curve, it slopes what? Upwards. So this is your price. This is what your quantity demanded. Okay. This one is slopes upwards from left. This is your left also. This is your right. Okay. So anywhere you stand, yes, your right. This is your left now. This is your right. If you stand, if you see here, yes, your left, yes, your right. So it slopes what? Upwards. This one slopes upwards from left to right, while this one slopes downwards from what? From left to right. See the difference between both of them? And this abnormal demand curve, now the one we know the year word, it disobeys the law of demand. Okay, it disobeys the law of demand. It goes against the law of demand that says that when prices are high, quantity demanded are lower, and when what prices are lower, quantity demanded are what? Are higher, or it increases. Okay, so this one disobeys it because when the price, okay, is high, quantity demanded is high. Okay, so this is for abnormal demand curve. It's abnormal. All right, this is a curve that slopes upward from left to right. As you can see, it is a demand what? That disobeys the law of demand. It's a demand curve that disobeys the law of demand. This means that as price is increasing, quantity demanded will what? Will increase. It will not decrease. Okay, that's why we call it an abnormal what? Demand curve. We say goods that have such kind of demand curves are referred to as what? Abnormal goods, or we call them what? Exceptional goods. Okay, goods that have that kind of what? Demand, that have this kind of abnormal demand curve, we call them what now? Exceptional goods. Exceptional goods, or we call them what? Abnormal goods. Okay, so please take note of what? Of that. All right. So they are called what? Exceptional goods, or what? Or abnormal what? Goods. Those are what? The goods are what? That show what? Abnormal what? Demand curve. Take note of that, so you see them in your past questions. All right. You see them in your past questions. So I want you to know it and know it once forever. Okay, that's what? Abnormal demand curve slopes what? Upwards from left to right, and it's a demand curve that disobeys the law of demand. You know the year word. For it's just like some of you will say, for our family, we know the year word, or we know the year word. This is what? Abnormal demand curve. As price is increasing, quantity demanded will increase. We follow it. Okay, and as price is what is reducing, quantity demanded will what? Will reduce also. It's as simple as that. So that is what the abnormal demand what curve. All right. Now let us see two types of what? Of abnormal goods that we have. We have two types of abnormal goods. Please take note of that. Then number one, two types of abnormal goods. Number one, we have the one we call the what? The ostentatious goods, or the one we call the luxury goods. Okay, or God what? The superior goods. Number one, we have what? Ostentatious. Okay, or we call it superior, or we call it luxurious. Okay, so these are what? This is what? One example of what? Of an abnormal or good. Okay, ostentatious, superior, or what? Luxurious what? Good. Then we also have the number two that we call inferior or Giffen goods. Number two, we have the one we call inferior or Giffen. Okay, this is F. Giffen what? Goods. These are the two types of what? Of abnormal goods that we have. We have ostentatious, superior, or luxurious. This they are in the same category, they are in the same line. Okay, ostentatious. Okay, that goods that are produced. Okay, to show off. All right, like clothes now. That's some luxurious clothes. It's just for show off, nothing more. Okay, ostentatious, superior, luxurious. Okay, then number two, inferior or what? Or Giffen what? Goods. These are the two types of what? Of abnormal goods that we have. Take note of them. Oh, if they were not important, I would have told you so. Now, it's also important to know, let us see the characteristics of what? Of an abnormal demand curve. So it will like be almost the opposite of the characteristics of a normal demand curve that we saw earlier. All right. So number one, instead of it having a negative slope like the normal demand curve, it will have what? A positive slope. Characteristics of abnormal demand curve. One, it has a what now? A positive slope. Okay, and now as you can see, as price is increasing, okay, quantity demanded is increasing. Is that a direct relationship or indirect relationship? So you obviously see that what there's a direct relationship between price and quantity demanded when it comes to what? The abnormal demand curve or for abnormal goods. Okay, so number two, it has what? A direct relationship between price and quantity demanded. All right, so it has what? A direct relationship between what? Price and quantity demanded. We talk about normal curve, also a normal demand curve having what? A negative what? Function. This one have what? A positive function. So number three, it has a positive function. All right, so please take note of what of that. So these are the characteristics of what? Of an abnormal what? Demand what? Curve. Now, let us see some of the reasons why this abnormal what? Demand curve what? Occurs, why it happens, why does it happen? Number one, reasons. Number one, fear of future rise in price of commodity. Okay, so ordinarily, let's even if somebody that is selling, if you are selling goods, if you are selling, I don't know whether you are into any trade or you are selling anything, you are selling hair, you are selling beans, okay, whatever you are selling. If you get a news, get an update that more price of beans will increase, what you will ordinarily do? Okay, as a business person, what will you do? You will go and what? And buy more beans, okay, so that when the price increases, you will not be affected, and you what? You will sell the ones you have what? You have bought at lower prices, isn't it? It's as simple as ABC. So as price is what is increasing, demand is what is also what increasing. Okay, so number one, fear of future rise in price of commodity. Okay, so as there is speculation that price may increase, this will make people to what? To go and buy them what? More, so that they can make what? More profit. Number two, demand for luxurious, ostentatious and superior goods. Some people, they know they wear anything when no be luxury. If you know be Gucci, we know they wear for our family. Okay. If you know be Prado, we know they drive. Okay. If it is not Lexus or Benz, we know they drive. So some people are just there for the luxury alone. Okay. So the demand for what? For this luxurious goods, or for this ostentatious goods, or for these goods that we term as superior, will always be there. All right. So then number three, habit of the consumer. Okay. Then number four, rare commodities. That's a commodity that are very, very rare. All right. So once it's available, people who will need it. So people will go and get them. They'll go and buy them at whatever price it is. All right. The demand will always be there. So these are what the reasons why we have what? Abnormal demand curve. Thank you so very much. Now let us quickly go to the O3 School JAMB CBT practice app, take some questions to cement our understanding about what this topic. And this is why you should have the application, download it and activate it. All right. All right. If you want to activate your application, simply send a message to 09121515246. Also know that this application is available for your computers, for your laptops. In case you want to download for your laptops, all right, simply send a message to that number and you'll be given direction. Now, let us see a question. 2019 number one. 2019 number one. It says a demand which gives rise to the reverse of the law of demand. A demand which gives rise to the reverse of the law of demand is A. They say derived demand. B says joint demand. C say abnormal demand. D say composite demand. Obviously, if I look at it, it is abnormal demand. It disobeys the law of demand. Okay, it gives the reverse of the law of demand. All right, so take note of that. Now let us see 2009 number 8. They say the demand curve for a luxury good is the demand curve for a luxury good. Okay, it is slope what? Upwards. Okay, from what? From left to right. All right, that means A say negatively sloped. No. B say parallel to the price axis. C say parallel to the quantity as is this a positively slope. Okay, so the demand curve for a luxury good will be positively slope because it has what is a category of what of goods that we call what the abnormal what goods. All right, so it will be positively slope. That means the characteristics of what of an abnormal demand curve will what we apply to it. Let us see 2022 number 7. It says an exceptional demand curve can result from A, they say increase in the price of raw materials. B, say increase in the size of the population. D, say expectation of future price increase. C, say this is rather change in the taste of the consumer. So correct answer there is option C. Obviously, okay. When people fear of future rise in price, okay, it's a reason why we have this exceptional demand curve or the abnormal demand curve. 2015 number 17. They say a fall in the price of ostentatious goods will A, say increase the quantity of demand. A fall in price in ostentatious goods. Okay, a fall in price of ostentatious goods will A, increase the quantity demanded. B, decrease the quantity demanded. C, decrease demand. D, increase demand. Okay, so let us see that. Now, once we're talking about ostentatious goods now, which are the luxurious goods. Okay, we have said that what for this abnormal demand curve, as price is increasing, quantity demanded is increasing. So if price is falling, quantity demanded will also fall. All right, so a fall in the price of ostentatious goods, okay, will lead to decrease in in the quantity demanded. All right, it will lead to decrease in the quantity demanded. All right, that's why option B will be very correct. Now 2024 number 6 says that an exceptional demand curve can result from A, they say increase in in price of raw materials. B, increase in the size of the population. C, expectation of future price increase. D, change in the taste of the customer. As you can see, this question was repeated. Some of you that will say question, they know they repeat JAMB question. I laugh you. Go and watch our episode on how to JAMB, where we talked about whether JAMB repeat past question. You see how they repeat. Do not cram past question, by the way. So correct answer is option C. All right. So there are so many more questions about this on the application. Go to the Play Store immediately, download the application or download it on your computer, activate it, pay for the activation, pay the price, all right, and start studying your way to success. All right. I will see you as you give a testimony. See you in the next episode.